Have you ever heard of a doctor who didn't save lives but instead buried them alive? Let me introduce you to our subject, a man who was once seen as a shining beacon of medical prowess and charm. A man whose story takes a turn so macabre it's hard to believe it's true. His name, his actual credentials remain shrouded in mystery, but for the purpose of our tale, let's call him Dr. Eck. He was a figure of admiration in his community. His charm, charisma, and seemingly effortless ability to heal made him a respected individual. Dr. X was known for his uncanny ability to diagnose complicated medical conditions, often leaving his peers in awe. His patients, especially women, trusted him implicitly, their faith in his abilities unwavering. But as the sun sets, shadows grow longer, and so it was with Dr. X. Beneath the veneer of respectability and charm, rumors began to circulate, whispers of something not quite right. There were stories that seemed too bizarre to be true. Tales of women visiting Dr. X for treatment only to never be seen again, stories of inexplicable disappearances that seemed to center around our good doctor. But these were merely whispers, hushed conversations in dimly lit corners. After all, who would believe that a man of such standing could be capable of such heinous acts? Yet, the whispers persisted. They became louder, more insistent. The story started to take on a more sinister tone. There were talks of screams in the night, of strange silhouettes moving in the doctor's backyard under the cover of darkness, and then the rumors took a chilling turn. There were whispers of women being buried alive, of a doctor who didn't save lives but took them. The whispers grew louder, the stories more chilling, as the doctor's dark secret began to unravel. The doctor's secret was not one that could be hidden forever. A chilling truth, darker than the starless night, was about to be exposed, forever altering the perception of the seemingly saintly doctor from Satara. In the heart of the community, a woman lived to tell the tale of her horrifying encounter. An encounter that no one could have ever imagined. She was a survivor, an unwitting hero who had managed to escape the clutches of the doctor. Her tale was one of fear, of dread, and of a nightmarish ordeal that was almost too grotesque to be true. The woman had been one of the doctor's patients. She had trusted him, as had the rest of the community, but behind the facade of professionalism and compassion lurked a monster. The doctor, it was revealed, had been burying his female patients alive, a horrifying act, so macabre it sent shivers down the spine of every person who heard the tale. The community was shell-shocked. Disbelief was the first reaction. How could a man of science, a man they had trusted with their lives, commit such a heinous act? But as the woman's story unfolded, the grim reality set in. The doctor was not the savior they had believed him to be. He was a predator, a wolf in sheep's clothing, hiding behind the veneer of his profession. The shockwaves of this revelation rippled through the community. Conversations stopped mid-sentence, eyes widened in horror and hearts pounded in chests as the woman narrated her ordeal. The air grew heavy with tension and fear as the once trusted doctor's image crumbled to reveal the monster beneath. The community was frozen in stunned silence as the woman's story spread like wildfire, each word igniting a fresh wave of shock and horror. The trust they had in the doctor, the trust they had in their sense of judgment, was shattered. An eerie silence enveloped the community, a silence that screamed louder than any words could. The doctor's dark secret was out in the open, forever tainting the image of the man they once admired. As her story spread, the community watched in stunned silence, their trust shattered. The depths of the doctor's depravity were shocking, even to the most hardened hearts. He wasn't merely a man gone astray. He was a walking nightmare, a living embodiment of terror. His victims were women from the town, their lives snuffed out in the prime. They were buried alive, not in some deserted graveyard, but right in the heart of his sprawling mansion. The doctor's house, once a symbol of respect and trust, had transformed into a macabre mausoleum of the living dead. The women were placed within specially designed caskets, intricately crafted with soundproof walls and a tiny air supply. This was a man who had turned his medical expertise into a tool for his twisted fantasies. He would sit by their coffins, stethoscope in hand, listening to their muffled screams and the frantic beating of their hearts, until the sounds gradually faded into eerie silence. His motivations were as chilling as his actions. He would often speak of preserving beauty, claiming that the women were far too beautiful to age or die naturally. He saw himself not as a murderer but as an artist, a sculptor of time, freezing his subjects in their prime, robbing them not just of their lives but of their humanity as well. This was not a man driven by impulse. His actions were calculated, methodical. The doctor had a meticulous routine, selecting his victims based on their age and appearance, studying them for weeks, sometimes even months before making his move. He took perverse pleasure in the process, enjoying the anticipation as much as the act itself. The details of his horrifying deeds send shivers down the spine. They force us to question how a man of science, a healer, could descend into such monstrous depths. They remind us that evil can wear many masks, and sometimes, the most terrifying monsters are the ones that walk among us, hidden in plain sight. His gruesome acts were a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath even the most respectable facades. The doctor's reign of terror had ended, but the scars he left behind were indelible. The day the truth surfaced, a shiver ran through the community, a chilling reminder of the atrocities that had occurred right under their nose. The once respected physician had fallen from grace, his deeds shattering the trust of those who had once looked up to him. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but swallow they did, and with it came a newfound resolve. With the doctor's horrifying acts laid bare, the community was left to grapple with the aftermath. A sense of betrayal and shock pervaded the air, but so did an undercurrent of resilience. The townsfolk rallied together, their collective strength a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure, to heal, and to rise from the ashes. The doctor, once a figure of respect, was now a pariah. The consequences of his actions were swift and severe. Stripped of his medical license, he faced a barrage of legal repercussions. The walls of his once thriving practice closed in on him, a stark reminder of the lives he had shattered. His actions, once shrouded in secrecy, were now public knowledge, his reputation irrevocably tarnished. But amidst the wreckage, there were stories of courage. The survivors, the women who had endured unthinkable horrors, emerged as the true heroes of this tale. Their strength was awe-inspiring, their resilience a beacon of hope in a world clouded by darkness. They stood tall, their voices no longer silenced but amplified, echoing throughout the community. Their stories served as a sobering reminder of the atrocities they had endured and the strength they had shown in overcoming them. Despite the horrifying revelations, the community found strength in unity, in listening, in believing. The doctor's reign of terror had ended, but the survivors' stories were far from over. They continued to inspire, to empower, and to remind us all of the power of resilience. The survivors' bravery stood as a beacon of hope amidst the darkness, reminding us of the power of resilience. In the face of horrifying truths, we are left to grapple with a chilling question. How could someone, particularly a doctor, a beacon of trust and healing, descend into such an abyss of darkness? This is not just a tale of a deranged doctor from Satara, but a stark reminder of the duality of human nature and the unsettling depths it can plunge into. The story unveils a disturbing paradox. Here was a man, entrusted with the noble task of saving lives, who instead chose to snuff them out in the most inhumane way possible. It shakes our faith in the very foundations of trust and compassion that our society is built upon. It forces us to ask, who can we really trust? Yet at the heart of this chilling narrative lies an even more disquieting question. What drives a person to commit such heinous acts? Is it a twisted fascination with power, a perverse joy in inflicting pain, or simply an unfathomable darkness lurking within? The answers may elude us, but the questions remain, echoing in the silence of the night. As we delve deeper into the psyche of such individuals, we are confronted with the unsettling reality of our own vulnerabilities. It reminds us that evil does not always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, wearing the mask of a trusted friend, a loved one, or as in this case, a doctor. This tale of horror is a wake-up call. It nudges us to be more vigilant, to question, to not take things at face value. It implores us to remember that beneath the veneer of civility, under the white coat of a healer, can lurk a monster capable of unthinkable evil. As we reflect on this horrifying tale, we are reminded of the chilling reality. Even those we trust most can harbor the darkest secrets.